I'm Are Sunas. I'm the creative director. I'm in charge of running things.
How long have you been making games?
Professionally, I started making games in 2004, I think was my first game that I made for money, at least. I did make some games when I was a kid, working with QBasic, modding old games. Like there was this Gorilla game on QBasic, that's a demo game that I learned programming by watching and trying to change variables and stuff. But I wasn't really that into making games before I was an adult, actually.
What games have you made?
My first commercial games were advert games for Norwegian clients. One of them was called Rottenetter, Rat Nights, and the other is Red Sting. And both of them were RG, alternate reality games.
What was your job when working on Egg?
My job is mostly doing the overall conceptual things, the creative part of the initial process of the game development, and then managing the team and making sure everything we make is high quality and fun, I guess.
How did you get into making games?
When I was a kid, I was really into making things, not specifically games, but everything. I did a lot of programming, like with websites and animation, and I also did some games. I guess it's just curiosity of creating stuff, but my education is in art. Before I started doing games, I worked with making concepts for advertising and stuff like that. But once we made the first advertising games, then I was sort of hooked on the form of communication and a way of engaging people in a completely new way. Yeah, there was no way back after that.
Why do you make video games?
I don't know. Of course it's fun, and it's a really cool thing because it has so many different practices of creation. I really love the early stages of development where you sort of molding something out of nothing, and it can be anything basically.
What's the worst part about making games?
The two worst parts of making games. One is that it's really hard to earn any money on making games because people aren't really willing to pay for games. And then the other worst part is sort of also the best part, but it's like when you're in like crunch time, or when you're working really hard on making something work, and it's so frustrating because it's so hard to figure out what's right. You can think that something will work, and then you'll have to try it, and then most of the times it doesn't work at all like you imagined. But it's also part of the fun because it's sort of an exploration, figuring out new stuff. In a lot of industries, a lot of things are preset. This is the way to do it. And with games, like every game is so different, so there's really not any rules how to make a game. So you have to figure it out each time, each project. You have to figure everything out. Again, at least that's how it feels like, and that's frustrating, but it's also fun.
What's the best part about making games?
When you have an idea and you try it out, and then it doesn't work, of course, but then you figure out a way to make it work. Like you keep tweaking and changing stuff until it feels right. I think the best part is when you have something and you just do it, you play it, and you just feel that, yes, this feels right, this feels good, and it's rewarding. And usually it's like really small things. The combination of how you control it, and the animations and the sounds, everything together, and you just know it when you have something that feels right. And I think that's one of the best feelings when making games. Each time you get one of those, like, yes, this is really good, and you're pleased with it. And then of course the day after you're not pleased with it anymore, but it's a short period of time, it's really good.
What games do you like to play, or what's your favorite game?
Right now I'm playing a lot of Breath of the Wild, and I really enjoy it. I do play a lot of games on mobile. Playing games now has become like research, so you just try a lot of games and you want to know how they work and how they look. So I try to play a lot of games, but I don't usually spend too much time on each game. And then sometimes the game like Breath of the Wild appears, and then I get hooked. But with the family you get less and less time to just sit and play, so I try to as much as I can.
Is there anything else you want to say or add to the interview?
Nah.
No.
No.
Okay, thank you.